morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Josh Pode with you here. First Contact Radio. Got a lot of good information today. The main subject I'm going to be sticking with is Elenin. I'm going to deal with a few other things as well, but primarily Elenin, because we're in that window of time when we may be dealing with this subject, so we might as well look at it from all sides and get different perspectives and what have you. But let's start things off as we do each and every day with our dream spell date. Today's date is called the White Planetary Dog. White Planetary Dog. White is the color of refinement. Planetary tone is tone number 10. It's called the planetary tone of manifestation. And the dog is all about love and loyalty. The guide for today is the mirror. The mirror is a reflection. It provides the power of endlessness. And if you also notice up here, where underneath where it says White Planetary Dog, on this little widget here, it says Electric 1. What that means is the electric tone, as you know, is tone number 3. And since this Mayan system, this dream spell system here, uses a system of 13 months instead of 12 months, each month has a month as according to one of the 13 tones. So we are beginning the first day of the third month, which is the electric month. And so all of these next 28 days are all with the theme of activation of the electric tone. But within that, there are the smaller cycles that take place. And today is the planetary dog as it operates within the spectrum of the electric moon. And remember, instead of saying a month, we say a moon. So we're at the electric moon, the first day of it. There's 28 days per moon, 13 moons per year, and there you have it. So our phrase for today is I perfect in order to love, producing loyalty. I seal the process of heart with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of endlessness. And on the Gregorian calendar it is Tuesday, September 20th, 2011. Again, this widget is available absolutely free. You can go to our website, firstcontactradio.com. It's on the right-hand side. It's the widget for the dream spell, which is the Mayan calendar, but kind of tweaked a little bit. Jose Argelis was the one who was behind this, and it brings a cosmic science into what the Mayans were doing a little bit more than what they had incorporated. So it's quite fascinating. This is what I do every day, so it kind of like listening to the surfing report so you know what energy to work with. Alright, there you have it. That gets us started for today. Now, I want to take us to our first story of the day, and since we're dealing with Elenin, I found this at one of the forums here, and I thought that this would be a good way to start. There's actually 4 parts to this. I'm just going to play the first part today. But you got the link to the website so you can go and follow the link and listen to the other 3 parts. So let's check out this and we'll get things started. Here we go.
Hey YouTube. In all of the craziness that's going on right now, I think it's important to remind everybody that we are living in something that is not real. Okay, we are living in a dream world. Now, I know some of you may sit back and laugh, but that's because you're still not in control of your ego. Okay, if you will release your ego and allow your mind to open and see things from the perspective of a child rather than the closed workings of a scientist that only goes by his theories and doesn't allow anything else beyond what he knows in order to come in and help him expand his consciousness. If you will look at things that way and be open-minded for a little bit, what you'll find is that you are living in a matrix. Okay, and I'm not the only one that says this. Top scientists say it. The Mayans say it. In fact, let me just play you this real quick clip. The Maya wish to inform you that the world that you know, that you live within, is not what you think it is. We modern people think that the world is solid and real,
and that nothing can change it. It is fixed and will go on for eternity without or with or without our presence. The Maya wish to inform you that this is not true. The world is really images that can be controlled by consciousness.
And that's very true. Now, you guys have seen me come out with some of these pictures in Orion, the pictures in the clouds with the eyes in them. Okay, well, that's because reality is indeed, it's a holographic universe that we're living in. And we are living in a dream right now. And so, when you look at all these weird, uncommon, and like just coincidence or similarity after the next that just pile on top of each other that would make a statistics, problem be like astronomical, that nobody is really in control of, And you can take 10 variables. Let me give you an example real quick. Okay, we all know that September 11 is right around the corner, right? And because it is a date that is associated with fear, I feel like it's important to show you that even though it is that there are a lot of weird things about September 11, and even the number 11 itself, that no one could have been in control of, but yet there's so many different similarities that you find that, and this is only going to be one case, but let me just give you some of them. Okay? The date of the attack. Now, when you do something in numerology, you add it together. 9 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 11, right? So 9/11, 9 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. September 11 has 9 letters and 2 numbers. 9 plus 2 is equal to 11, right? September 11th is the 254th day of the year. 2 plus 5 plus 4 is 11. After September 11th, there are 111 days left to the end of the year. The first plane to hit the towers was Flight 11. The Flight 11 call letters were AA11, 1, 1, and 11. Just some other ones. The Trade Center is 11 letters. The Skyscrapers is 11 letters. The World Trade Center Towers is 22 letters. 2 times 11 is 22. The World Trade Center Twin Towers standing side by side look like the number 11. Okay, all of these similarities, and there's lots of them, okay? This is astronomically, if you were to run statistics on that, it's astronomically ridiculous, okay? And surely nobody planned all that, okay? Because it gets into things like, how many people passed away and just, weird stuff like that. So what I'm telling you is that this reality is not what you think it is. For example, on 9/11 this time, Comet Elenin just so happens to be closest to the sun on 9/11? What are the odds? That's just ridiculous. Okay, now understanding that we are in a reality that's kind of like a dream state, okay? We're basically just living out this dream until we wake up. The Mayans have told us this. You can look around, you can see all these weird similarities. But I'm going to get into something here real quick. We're going to talk about, the Nibiru Comet Elenin thing, because there's so much fear involved with this. But I believe that it's just part of the dream. And the other spin on it is that I believe that this Nibiru thing is actually good for us, not bad for us. I'm going to show you why. So, this document exists out on scribd.com, and the person who wrote this document, he doesn't read tea leaves like I do. There's tons of math inside here, calculating all different kinds of orbits and things coming into the solar system and whatnot. This right here, I'm sure you've seen it before. This guy talks about it. This apparently is Nibiru. Now, if you take a look at these ejections coming out on both sides, what he compares it to is something similar to a quasar or a pulsar, which are some of the most high energy things that we have in the solar system. But in addition to that, if you've ever listened to, I believe, Andrew Collier's Cygnus Mystery, the Cygnus Mystery talks about the Cygnus constellation, and that ancients a long time ago used to draw stuff related to that on the cave walls. This is like back 30, 40,000 years ago, and that he has the idea that these pulsars and stuff, they send out these waves of energy and actually cause spontaneous DNA evolution, which is what I believe that Nibiru is going to be playing some kind of a part in. And what I think is going to be happening is as this thing approaches us, things are going to get more chaotic. However, it is also going to be fueling our evolution at the same time. And so by the time it gets fairly close to us, we're going to be pretty much, our DNA is going to be mutated to the point where we're probably going to be, almost at the next level, basically. And then finally, when it gets really close to us, I believe it's going to be responsible for possibly, when it's going to pass between the Earth and the Sun. And when it does that, it's going to fight for the Earth's, it's going to try to take the Earth from the Sun. And I believe that when it does that, that is when we're going to probably experience something similar to a pole shift. However, I think we may also experience something related to time as well, because in the theory of relativity, and let me just show you this real quick clip.
A space-time vortex around Earth, presented by Science at NASA. Would you believe Earth sits in the middle of a space-time vortex? Einstein predicted this almost 100 years ago, and it turns out to be true. On May 4th, 2011, researchers announced that NASA's Gravity Probe B spacecraft has detected the vortex, and its shape precisely matches the predictions of...
On May 4th, okay, that's just about the time that Nibiru was starting to affect Saturn, which we'll get into in just a second.
Einstein's theory of gravity. The space-time around Earth appears to be distorted, just as general relativity predicts, says Stanford University physicist Francis Everett, principal investigator of the Gravity Probe B mission. Time and space, according to Einstein's theories of relativity, are woven together, forming a four-dimensional fabric called space-time. The mass of Earth dimples this fabric, much like a person sitting in the middle of a trampoline. If Earth were stationary, that would be the end of the story.
That's key. If Earth were stationary, that would be the end of the story. Then time, right, would stop. There wouldn't be the same kind of time. Time would flow differently at that point. So is it possible that when Nibiru passes between the Sun and the Earth, that when it steals, or when Earth, the power of its gravity, does it affect Earth so that Earth is not, it's going to flip Earth, or is it going to steal it to where Earth isn't turning? And that will probably affect time, is what I'm guessing. And so with that being said, let me play the rest of it.
But our planet spins, and the spin should pull the dimple around in a four-dimensional swirl. This is what Gravity Probe B went into space in 2000.
All right, we're going to leave that one there. That's part one. There's 3 other parts to go. Pretty interesting, don't you think? Yes, indeed, indeed. A lot of stuff in the universe to pay attention to. We just have to be awake.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of people.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. up as it sure will be, ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. This is Josh. This is the UFO News for today. So we've got a couple of things to talk about, and as usual, everything is going to all tie in together with the show. All right. First story comes to us from third phase of the moon. UFO sightings, massive fleet of UFOs zoom across the sky. Zoom across at amazing speeds. All right, let's check out these amazing speeds here, see what you think about this. Are they amazing to you? We'll find out. Here we go. All right, as you're going to see here, what we have is California coast 2011. This is a UFO fleet. Now, you might not see it right off the bat. You got to look close. There's a couple of white dots out there. But as the camera zooms in, you'll be able to get a little bit of a closer look. We got one right down here. You just got to look closely. You'll see them. There, zoom in a little bit more here. Alright, here we go. This is the bigger 300% zoom, so you get a better look at this. Alright, you see there's one down here right behind the bushes here. And you see another one flying up here. Here you go, this one's flying across this way. Looks like there's another one right there. It would make 3. That one almost looks like it disappeared down into the water. There's another one. So yeah, see, there's a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them. Absolutely right. Very good, very good. All right, third phase of the moon. Good story. All right, our next story here comes to us from, this is Fox Nation, and this one tells me that the mainstream media is getting closer to a point of disclosure, because when they start putting stories like this, it's to get the attention, and they want you to become aware of something. So in this particular case, they want you to be aware of UFOs. The article says mankind has always been fascinated by the unknown, especially unidentified flying objects. Are they alien craft, acts of nature, or simply hoaxes? Here are some images to help you decide. It's pretty exciting, says Clifford Cliff, the international director of MUFON. When you average 500 a month nationwide and you go to 1,013 in 1 month, well, that's an interesting spike in sighting reports. Cliff told Life's Little Mysteries that he's not sure what to make of the data at this point. Could be the start of something big, or it could be merely a computer glitch that accidentally counted some reports twice. Another possibility is we're simply in the midst of a UFO flap, one of many periodic increases in sightings over the years. There are several reasons UFOs might appear in flaps or clusters. One is that the objects in the sky are usually seen by many people, especially when they appear over urban areas. UFOs typically don't hover close to Earth or in someone's backyard. Instead, they are often sighted high in the sky, just far enough away so we can't see the details or get sharp photos. Alright, so now let's move on to our next story here and watch how they all kind of tie together. Our next story here, UFO sightings increase, as do WikiLeaks UFO war report and call for ET truth. Alright. Says it's time we find out what the truth is really is out there. The American people and the people of the world want to know, and they can handle the truth, writes John Podesta in the foreword of UFOs, generals, pilots, and government officials go on the record. Podesta served as the White House Chief of Staff under President Bill Clinton and as co-chairman of the Obama-Biden Transition Project that focused on prevention and public health. Meanwhile, Julian Assange, the founder of the whistleblower internet platform WikiLeaks, has made a September 6th statement in Berlin that WikiLeaks had posted 251,287 cables on its website in a second that included some new UFO details. Also earlier this year, Assange spoke briefly about the subject of UFOs on the London-based Guardian website, where he referenced these secret UFO files as part of a yet-to-be-published parts of the Cablegate archive. Meanwhile, the popular UFO sighting spot at the Stonefield Beach, located along the picturesque stretch of the Oregon coast, has been overrun by people with telescopes, say locals, due to the recent discovery of 600 new exoplanets. That strengthens views from both Oregon UFO watchers and astronomers that we are not alone. Well, you can see there's much more to the article, but we're going to move on. Okay, so now we've had two stories talking about increase in sightings. Now these WikiLeaks reports. Now we move right over to the next one, and now all of a sudden somebody's put that together to determine that this could be an alien invasion. Alien invasion? Summer sees a UFO in sightings. Is an alien invasion imminent? Well, this past 6 weeks, we have seen a spike in UFO sightings in the United States, according to an organization that tracks reports of unidentified flying objects. The Mutual UFO Network reports that there were 1,013 such sightings in August, up from an average of about 500 per month nationwide. Pretty exciting. Clifford Cliff, the international director of MUFON, told Mysteries last week that's an interesting spike in sighting reports. There might also be several different explanations for the increase in sightings, according to Cliff. An actual alien invasion is just one possibility. Cliff told Life's Little Mysteries that UFO sightings periodically increase from time to time. When big clusters of sightings happens in a short time, it's called a UFO flap. One reason for this might be a psychological phenomenon called priming. When popular culture is focused on UFO sightings, of them tend to rise alongside the increase in books, movies, and television shows about such objects, he said. It's likely that the media and alien-themed movies are coming out like Apollo 18 and Paul are piquing people's interest in UFOs. Another possible reason for more sightings is that people are outdoors more in the summer, focusing more eyeballs on the night sky than during other times of the year, and increasing sightings of the various objects tend to get reported as UFOs, airplanes, shooting stars, satellite, weather balloons, and who knows, maybe even alien spacecraft. There could also be some duplication of sightings going on. According to MUFON, Clift and his organization was still examining the data on the UFO sightings reports for recent weeks, with an eye towards determining if the summer months there had been many reports of different objects or many reports of the same objects, which could be the case if a few objects happen to be spotted in more populated areas. Perhaps they should also be on the lookout for telltale trails of Reese's Pieces. Ho ho ho. Funny, funny, funny. Okay, so alien invasion, right? Alright, and let's go one more here. This is what's going on with the sun. And there's a lot of them up here. Okay, so SOFO is removing its footage from its site, but they missed this. And are welcome to copy share 4RB. Okay. If you're going to check out, look at all these things flying around up there in the sun. Look at that one. Let me back that up again, just get a better look at that. There it goes. Now look at that. Is that not the classic UFO shape? Boom, right up there by our sun. Okay, we're going to zip ahead. Look at that. Look at all the detections of things. Okay. So, what was the point of all of that? Well, it's to... You must understand at this point, there's a lot of sightings out there, a lot of ships. Last week, you heard an interview with Stephen Bassett. We talked about disclosure. Well, when these kind of events go on like this, it kind of points to disclosure as being something that's going to happen in the near future. Perhaps the government's getting ready to let you know. And when they let you know, the first thing they do is they crank up their propaganda machine. Because what's the propaganda machine for the political agenda? That's right, the media, the mainstream media. So they crank it up, they put the information out, plant seeds in the heads of all of the people that are watching the magic television boxes that brainwash you on a daily basis. And you watch that information and it goes into your brain. And next thing you know, you've got implanted in your head the idea that there might be an alien attack. Now, we talked about these alien attack ideas before. Let's think logically about it. Sure, a possibility is they could come to attack. That's a possibility. But think about it this way. If you were going to attack somebody, would you do it at a time when they were caught off guard and you had surprise? Would you do it at a time when you had better technology? Or would you possibly wait until your cover was blown and they knew you were there and they had enough weaponry to be able to fight back against you? Which do you think would be the better scenario? Of course, attack with the element of surprise using the weapons that you have, knowing that they're not going to be able to fight back. They haven't done that up to this point. They're not going to do this. That's not what this is all about. There's a galactic graduation ahead. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. That's what this whole change is about. And in regards to UFOs, there's a story, I'm going to bring it up for tomorrow. But there's a story that goes back. It's a picture that shows these balls of light in the sky fighting with each other. And it goes back, I think, to the 1500s, something around that time period. Well, if there's balls of light fighting in the sky with each other, and we can assume that there wasn't a military force on the planet at that time, that whatever those flying objects were from two different camps and were fighting against each other. Perhaps for control of the planet. Perhaps because there are aliens and beings out there that want to do good, just as much as there are as those that want to do bad. But there's actually more that want to do good. See, there are some bad aliens out there, bad extraterrestrials. Reptilians are one of them. But the reptilians, as we've talked about over and over again, they're not out there. They're already here. So, go watch the movie They Live. I know that's not exactly the real thing of what's going on, but it'll give you an idea that behind the scenes there's something a bit more. David Icke talks about this quite a bit, the stories of Credo Mutwa and all of the awareness that they have out there in Africa of the beings that came down, the reptilian beings that came down. So there is something more than meets the eye. So between the ideas of the Matrix and living in a holographic universe and all of these different aliens, they all kind of tie together. And they come together in this neat little package that we're experiencing and going to continue to experience, which is called time. We'll get more into that in a bit. In the meantime, that's our UFO news report for today. Let me jump over to a song momentarily, and I will be right back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
supposed to know where they come from or where they go? And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lives? Plausible deniability. That's their answer to all we think we see. So pay attention. Read between the lines. Changes are happening, revealing lies. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lives? Underground where they live, in the bases that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lives? I can neither confirm or deny. They can neither confirm or deny. It's time for them, confirm or deny. No more secret lies. I don't know about you, but I can't stand it anymore. I know what I saw. You know what you saw. Stand up for yourself. Think for yourself. The truth is out there. No more lies. No more lies. No more lies.
All right, that was Euphoetry. Yours truly on vocals. That was Sting Mask on guitar. All right. Next up, order of the business, space weather for today. Space weather. Here we go. Secret lives of solar flares. NASA-supported researchers say that solar flares have been keeping a secret. The new finding reported by the October 1st issue of Astrophysical Journal suggests that explosions in the sun could affect the Earth even more than previously thought. For the full story, click on this link. Let's click on it. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, look at this. The secret lives of solar flares. 152 years ago, a man in England named Richard Cardigan discovered solar flares. It happened at 11:18 a.m. on the cloudless morning of Thursday, September 1st, 1859. Just as usual on every sunny day, the 33-year-old solar astronomer was busy in his private observatory, projecting an image of the sun onto the screen and sketching what he saw. On that particular morning, he traced the outlines of an enormous group of sunspots. Suddenly, before his eyes, two brilliant beads of white light appeared over the sunspots. They were so bright he could barely stand to look on the screen. Carrigan cried out, but by the time the witness arrived minutes later, the first solar flare anyone had ever seen was fading away. It would not be the last. Since then, astronomers have recorded thousands of solar-strong flares using instruments ranging from the simplest telescopes and backyard observatories to the most complex spectrometers and advanced spacecraft. Possibly no other phenomenon in astronomy has been studied as much. And after all that scrutiny, you might suppose that everything about solar flares would be known. Well, far from it. Researchers recently announced that solar flares have been keeping a secret. we've learned that some flares are many times stronger than previously thought, says University of Colorado physicist Tom Woods, who led the research team. Solar flares were already the biggest explosion in the solar system, and this discovery makes them even bigger. Alright, so let's jump from there. There's a lot more to that story. You're just going to follow the link on our website. You'll be able to catch up with everything. But here's the important story as it deals with the Earth. It says yesterday on the 19th, the Stereo Soho fleet of spacecraft surrounding the Sun detected 6 coronal mass ejections. 2 of the clouds rapidly dissipated. Remaining 4, however, are still intact and billowing through the inner solar system. Let's look at this movie. Alright, here we go. You'll be able to get a good look. This is the Earth right here. See how the Earth gets hit with that solar. There's another one. Boom. Is this the same one? They said there were 4. That's it. Yeah, that's 1. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Now, how is that going to affect us? Well, let's find out. Let's take a look here and see what it says for our solar weather today. Solar wind is only at 405, so it's not really going too heavy, and we haven't really been affected by any of the geomagnetic storms yet. See right here, there's still only a 10% chance in high latitudes, 5% lower. But if this just hit on the 19th, usually takes a couple days, so probably sometime towards the end of this week, next day or so, we should be feeling it. Here it goes. According to an analyst from Goddard Space Weather who prepared the movie, a CME should hit Mercury on the 20th, while another delivers a glancing blow to Earth's magnetic field on the 22nd at 2300 Universal Time. Alright, all impacts have a certainty of plus or minus 7 hours. So pay attention. Maybe you'll feel something. Maybe you'll experience something kind of cool. People have been getting good pictures of the auroras as the electromagnetic field above is hit and excited. Now, moving right along, this is a pretty cool story right here. Computer gamers solve puzzle in AIDS research that puzzled scientists for years. Goes on to say that when scientists struggle with a problem for over a decade, few of them think, I know, I'll ask computer gamers to help. Well, that, however, is exactly what Firas Kitab from the University of Washington did. The result? He and his legion of gamers co-authors have cracked a long-standing problem in AIDS research that scientists have puzzled over for years, and it only took them 3 weeks. Khatib's recruits played Fold It, a program that reframes fiendish scientific challenges as a competitive multiplayer computer game. It taps into the collective problem-solving skills of tens of thousands of people, most of whom have little or no background in science. Here's what was written about. It says the goal of the game is to work out the three-dimensional structures of different proteins. Proteins are feats of biological origami. They consist of long chains of amino acids that fold into very specific and complicated shapes. These shapes can reveal how proteins work, but solving them is fiendishly challenging. To do it, scientists typically need to grow crystals of purified protein before bouncing X-rays off them. Fold It takes a different approach, using a collective effort of casual gamers to do the hard work, and its best players can outperform software designed to do the same job. Best of all, you don't need a PhD to play Fold It. Barely an eighth of the players work in science, and 2/3 of the top scorers have no biochemistry experience beyond high school. The controls are intuitive. Tutorial levels introduce to game's mechanics. Colorful visuals provide hints, and the interface is explained in simple language. While protein scientists concern themselves with rotating alpha helices and fixing degrees of freedom, Fold It players simply tweak, freeze, wiggle, or shake their on-screen shapes. Pretty fascinating. It's an interesting way to go about and conduct business with science, because you get a lot of minds together and look what can happen. In 3 weeks, they've come up with a solution to a problem that's been daunting them for years. Good job, good work. All right, moving right along. We're going to get back to the Elenin story, and we're going to start this first one off here. This is a clip, and it's an update on what's going to be going down in Cheyenne Mountain around that time of the 27th. So here we go.
Everybody, David Acton checking in. Do we need any more evidence that something big's going to happen on the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th? There's so many things coming together. It's a confluence. It's a long laundry list. There's no point in going over it. So something big's going to happen. We're getting responses now that Peterson Air Force Base, where Cheyenne Mountain's located, and that's NORAD, that they're canceling leaves. They're not approving leaves for Air Force personnel that weekend. And that's the weekend Obama's out there. So it's all coming together, folks. Something big's going to happen. I would say there's a high confidence that if there is a major earthquake, it'll be around the Washington, D.C. area, probably off the coast of Washington, D.C., which will create a tsunami. If that's true, then the U.S. Naval Academy and West Point would be wiped out because they're both at sea level, and that leaves the Air Force Academy and Peterson Air Force Base at a mile above sea level out there in the mountains. I'm getting ready. I don't know about you. I like all the Christian input. Christ comes as a thief in the night. That's a good attitude. That's a good motto. I'm not saying he's going to come, because I can't predict that. No man knows the hour, correct? But I can tell you one thing. Something big's coming, folks. Something really big. Get ready. Get your stuff ready. Stop making videos about could this happen, will this happen. Just assume it is going to happen and start preparing. Practical steps. Get your go bags ready. It's time to stop looking at Elenin videos and start looking at survival preparation videos. Big, big, big. 27th, big. Until next time, this is David Acton.
All right, good advice. Good advice to pay attention, because something definitely is going on, right? I mean, we've heard enough information, we've seen enough to know what's going on. At a certain point in time, information has to be gathered, and you have to determine something's going on rather than keep looking at it, because the learning process does need to speed up just a bit, right? So we know something's going on. We could see. Now, is a theory that the events that are taking place with Elenin coincide with the movie Deep Impact. And in the movie Deep Impact, there was a tsunami, and it hit on the East Coast. We'll find out. This is just what this last gentleman, David, just said. So, we'll see. We'll see how that one's going to play itself out. Now, here's another one. Why is NASA hiding Elenin? I want you to look at this one, because this is interesting indeed.
September 19th, 2011, we're looking at stereo behind H1, today's date. Play this video, it's a short one, just a few clips, you can see that. I think it's about 4 or 5. And a couple things I want to point out. This is the object that some people are saying is Pleiades, the constellation of the Seven Sisters. In a video a couple days ago showing that this cluster is not Pleiades, you can check it out on our YouTube channel, Mr. Comet Watch. We showed that with the stellarium and our 3D solar system models, that down below the sun, further than you can see in this direction, is Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. This is not it. A couple other things I want to point out about it. Let me back this video up to the beginning of it. Now normally, when you have a solar flare, sun brightens like this, it will dim out these stars that you see. This is Mercury here, planet coming around, the stars get dimmer as this gets brighter. It just blinds the camera lens. Now this object does not get dimmer. The sun's light is reflecting off of it. If this was a constellation millions of miles behind the sun, these glares are not going to eliminate this star system if people think that's what that is. I'm going to play this video back. Come back. Back and forth right there. As that sun brightens up, you'll see the other stars dim out. This one doesn't. It gets brighter. Just as if an object's right there by the sun, and when that sun, those solar flares hit, this thing lightens up. These stars back in here are not going to do that. A constellation is not going to do that. I want to show you something else. Now this is the same picture, stereo behind, same date. This is stereo ahead over here. This is where, if the JPL models were right, we should be seeing Elenin somewhere in here. These real blurred images, you can't see them real good. What I want to point out, down here you have, from a different camera on stereo, you have these images here. Now this is the sun is in this area here. You see Mercury? This is Mercury here. Now, as always, the behind shows half of this area here. It's not showing where this is. You have to go to stereo A, and NASA has conveniently blocked that area out. I want to go, this is the MPEG movie from the same date of stereo A. This is ahead. Now, it's about 4 or 5 frames. I'm going to play each frame. But you have an object here. You see that right there? That's something showing up in the stereo A. You can't tell it until we start moving. I'm going to advance it frame by frame. You see this object right there as it moves. I know it's hard to see. There's the first image as it's coming in. NASA blocked out. And I've seen this before where they'll block. You'll have one glare or something that will kill that feed for a second on that image. Let's go to the next one. See that, guys? That's not satellite. Somebody's cutting this area out. This is stereo A. This is where we should be looking at the seeing Elenin. I want to play this video back a couple of times. It's almost so fast, I'm just going to have to do it frame by frame. Notice this area of disturbance here. Hard to tell, then they cut it out, guys. Not sure what's going on there. We're going to keep it updated. I appreciate y'all.
What? NASA's cutting stuff? Can you believe that? No, they wouldn't do something like that. Why would they do something? These organizations are such honest organizations. It just really surprises me when I hear these kind of stories that the government would be involved with such activities, or government agencies, you know what I mean. Alright, this very last video I'm going to play also is about Elenin, and on the back of the Swiss franc, the 10, there is a image that is there. It's an image that was drawn a long time ago by a mathematician named Leonhard Euler, and he was one of the preeminent mathematicians of the 18th century. Came up with a lot of different ideas and theorems, and for some reason, on the back of the Swiss franc, this picture he drew is there 230 some odd years ago. Well, there's a lot of talk about what it is, and this kind of ties in back to the first story that we did about time, DNA change, and things of that nature. So watch this one, and then we're going to wrap everything up and finish out the show here. So let me jump here. interesting indeed. Now, where does this all bring this? How does this all wrap up? Well, one of the things that I have talked about for quite some time, and we've discussed on this show, is this time shift that we are all going through. Okay, this 2012 experience we're all going through as a planet, it's very real. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening along this process. Time shifting is one of the things that is going to be taking place. Now, as time shifts, and there are rifts in three-dimensional and fourth-dimensional time, there's going to be things like earthquakes, volcanoes of this nature that are going to happen. Unfortunately, those who aren't paying attention and get caught up in those areas, they're not going to make it through. But the whole idea is for us to make it through, not to get caught up into it. The idea is for us to graduate, the galactic graduation. That is why we have so many space brothers and space sisters. These UFO sightings are out there because they're here to assist us with this process. It's a great time of change. There's a lot of great positives to this. Only problem is that when something gets put out into the media and it gets put out there as propaganda or people look at it from one perspective, all they see is the fear. So there's a lot of fear really attached to what's going on out there. And the fear is the thing that is holding people from really experiencing something at a much deeper level. You got to let go of the fear, and you have to understand that what we're going through is an important process. Do you really think that the great Creator put us all here to live life to a certain period of time and just get whacked out by a comet or by a planet or something? No. That's not part of the process. It's not part of the divine plan. There's something bigger at stake, and in order to deal with that and figure that out, we simply have to look at things from a spiritual perspective. This is a battle, a spiritual battle that's taking place, an evolutionary process that's taking place. If you look at it from that way, it changes the way in which you're going to experience what happens, because you look at it from a way in which you understand there's a solution. You're not helpless in this whole matter. And the way that we on this show deal with this is by incorporating meditation and prayer at the end of every show. Because yes, I certainly want to make sure that you are aware of what's going on out there in the world, but at the same time I want to provide a solution, and this is the solution. So go ahead and close your eyes, my friends, and relax. Now, as you heard in the video earlier today, talked about us living in this holographic universe, this universe that can be controlled and affected by our minds. So just imagine, my friends, what it would be like if billions of minds around this planet all focused and thought about the same thing. Imagine what that might create and do. And it just so happens that there are billions of minds on this planet at this point in time. So let us focus our thoughts. Let us look in a common direction, a direction of positivity, a direction of galactic graduation, a direction of progress. So let's imagine us walking along a path together, my friends, walking along a path, and up ahead you see the road, and it leads off into the distance. And as you look down the path, you don't necessarily understand where the distance goes, but the path leads to the next evolutionary step for you and all other beings upon this planet. So that in mind, you just walk, trusting the process. And every step you take is a step you take past fear, because it is only fear that holds you back. So as you walk forward, actually see shackles around your ankle that represent fear. See them breaking off, and seeing yourself walk forward past the fear. And as you walk past the fear, you notice that the path ahead becomes even more vibrant, because you're seeing things now from the perspective of love, having let go of all of the fear. And as you're walking along the path, walking forward into the great unknown, imagine all your chakras are turned on. So your spacesuit is fully activated, starting with the chakra at the bottom of your spine. The color is red. Imagine the energy filling that red chakra. And then let that energy raise from there to the chakra above it, which is right at the belly button area. This is your emotional center, and the color is orange. Now raise the energy up from there to the chakra above it, just below the rib cage, and imagine the color yellow. This is your intellectual body. From there, raise the energy up to the chakra above it, which is your heart. Imagine the color green. This is your center of love. From there, send the energy up to the next higher chakra. That is to the throat, and imagine the color blue. And from the throat chakra, send the energy up to the chakra above it, which is the third eye, right between the two eyebrows. Imagine the color violet. And finally, to the top of your head, the crown chakra. Imagine the color indigo and see the light continuing on up into the cosmos. It's bright white light. You are connected above and below, below and above. Feel all this multicolored energy flowing through your body, expanding. As it overflows, notice the line of protection, the line of light around your body, and allow it to expand outward as a protection around your living environment, your home, your city, your state, your country, and across the sea to all of the other countries around the world. And imagine us, all of us on this planet, sending this light of protection down to the earth to help it get through its time of change, and sending this light of protection up into the cosmos, protecting us from all the harm that may come down upon us, and allowing only love to pass through the protective barrier that we put up. And let's just imagine that as we do this, the earth is cleansed of all of the darkness and the problems that we have through this change. And in order to facilitate and help transform everything, last but not least, imagine from your heart chakra sending green love out to the planet. Imagine the color green, and as it goes out, the planet is cleansed and healed, and see and feel the darkness dissipating, and feel the love shining down from above. And understand that this process of change we are going through is a great process, and we are blessed to be here at this time. Now let's think a good thought for everybody around the world. And as we do, bring our energy and attention back to the present moment, and let's do so on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. And that's it. That's our prayer. That's our meditation. That's our show. I appreciate you listening. Thank you very much for participating in this process of life on a daily basis. Remember, we're all in this together. We're all going to get through it together. We just have to be smart, pay attention, and go inside. You know, these changes are going to go on, but get right with yourself. That's part of the process. This is cleaning out the old doubts, the old fears, the old worn out patterns, and moving forward. First way you got to do is you got to get good with yourself, clear with yourself, so you understand what needs to go and what needs to stay. All right? That's all I got to say for today, my friends. Go out there, be safe, love each other, have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, peace. I'm out of here.